I am from the ghetto, with kids who threaten me because I sat at the back of the bus. I am from afar because my mother told me not to play with those bad kids. I am from the suburbs, with a house that could fit my grandma, uncle, aunts, cousin, and my own family. I am from a farm who happen to have their very own pet chicken, puppy, stray cat, and frog. I am from the Wu clan. I am from a broken family. I am from a father who is a cancer survivor. I am from a woman. I am from a mother who works over 48 hours a week in order to put food and a roof over her children. I am from Huaxiong. Hey there, my name is Anita Wu, and what I just shared with you shows a little bit of who I am and what I'm from. I'm a student at the University of Minnesota. But before we get started, let's rewind a bit. I come from a Hmong background as the first generation to go to college. Growing up, I moved around all the time. Where we went was determined by my father and whether he liked the hot or cold weather better that year. We eventually settled in Bethel, Minnesota. Unfortunately, at this point of the timeline, about my 8th grade year, my parents would no longer be together. From here, my family would split up and move to St. Paul, Minnesota. Coming from the suburbs to the cities was an eye-opening experience for me, because I got to see that the stereotypes I had formed in my mind was not so real. During my senior year, I took part in Hmong Minnesota Student Association's Heritage Day at the University of Minnesota. I grew to love the community that I was in. The people I met were warm and welcoming. I said to myself, wow, I need to come here. This was my biggest influence in choosing the University of Minnesota. My decision in coming to the U of M has impacted me in various ways. Leaving to go live in the dorms was not encouraged by my family at all. It was a rough battle, but in the end, my family accepted the idea that living in the dorms would be best for me. Living in a single in Comstock slowly grew to be lonely. My short trips going back home meant much more. I learned what it meant to really miss your family, and especially my mother. Moving away from her was heartbreaking because we were so close. We eventually got over that phase, and we were only a 15-minute drive apart. Anywho, living in the dorms wasn't all that lonely because I had my boyfriend to keep me company, John Lee. He is my best friend. I also met my lovely friends from Hmong House on 4th floor and Ely. With all of these wild and beautiful friends, they kept me active and going. Those long nights playing volleyball, late night walk to have dinner at Bona, and volunteering at the Humphrey Center are all memorable memories that I won't forget. Aside from having fun, I also took part in Heritage Day my freshman year at the U of M too. HMSA has helped me build my network. Going to their events and getting to know the board members, I am confident that I will run for board next year. I hope to be more engaged in school and in my Hmong community at the U. Coming to the U, I thought I would be majoring in Chinese and psychology. But little did I know that this would go so wrong. Turns out, I did not enjoy taking my Chinese class at all. The experience was not what I expected, which leads me to my new major, Youth Studies. I currently work with the University YMCA with youths, and I love my job. I'd also want to explore theater arts and teaching. Coming here, I also did not expect to watch so much, especially during winter, but I've learned to cope with this crisis. At the U here, there is always something going on at Kaufman, including study session with Ving Yao, juggling club, dog therapy, Krispy Kreme sale, and the list goes on. I love the atmosphere at Kaufman. Everyone is doing their own thing. There are also many different kinds of places within Kaufman. On an occasional Sunday, I would go there and bowl with a couple of friends. You can always find me on 2nd floor hanging out with my friends. Oh, and I can't forget about the busy marketplace on ground floor with Starbucks. Participating in the multicultural kickoff, there is something that has stuck with me. They told us to look around the room, and that we would not see this much diversity in a classroom again. I've got to say that I could kind of agree with the statement, but as I stepped into my CLA lecture in Fraser Hall, I saw the diversity right before my eyes. I guess you can say diversity is shown throughout the U of M in various ways. During my first semester at the University of Minnesota, I've learned the shortcuts around campus, practiced enough procrastinating, began some soul searching, and plan to pursue my education at the U of M.